Hello, Believe Nation. I am not feeling well today. Oh, Nina came by. I am not feeling well today. I've got a giant headache for some reason, but I still need to make videos. I still got to get them up for you. It's been, 11 years almost of making, is it 11 years, Nina? It's been a long time of making content, and videos go up every day no matter what. And so I'm gonna do a little different format for this week of filming because I'm not on my A game. We're gonna play a clip and I'm gonna react to it, and hopefully you guys still find some value. So today let's learn from Jocko Willink and how to take a step back and detach.
I wake up every morning.
Entspresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
We were doing a training operation. We get into this tactical situation. Everyone in my platoon is focused on one area. Everyone's looking down their weapons, waiting for a threat to expose itself, which means you got 16 guys looking down their weapons, and I'm waiting for someone to make a call. I was a new guy. I'm waiting for someone above me in the chain of command to say, hey, move here, or hey, move forward, or make some kind of a decision. And as I'm waiting, no one's doing it. So I'm a new guy. I'm scared to say anything, and I know I shouldn't say anything, so I'm just waiting, and no one's giving an order. No one's giving any direction. So I wait longer. And this goes on for probably 30 seconds or a minute, which is a really long time when you're trying to take down a target. And finally I said to myself, all right, I'm gonna see what's going on. So I actually point my weapon at the ceiling and I take a step back and I just look around. And I see that every single person in my platoon, including my platoon commander, including the assistant platoon commander, including the platoon leading petty officer, everyone is just focused on their weapons and no one's making a decision. And I can see this. And because I'm looking around and I'm detached from the scenario, just by 8 inches I stepped back and looked around. I can see what decision needs to be made. And so I summoned up as much courage as I could as a new guy, because new guys don't make decisions. And I said, hold left, clear right, which was a basic command that we had rehearsed and we would practice. And I expected someone to say, shut up, Jocko. But instead they repeated the command. They all said, hold left, clear right, which means we were gonna execute it. And sure enough, the guys on the left held and the guys on the right cleared, and we got done. And instead of someone saying, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut, like one of the more senior guys said, hey, good job up there, way to make a call. So I looked at it and I said, wait a second, how could I have, as a new guy, have made a decision in that situation that was better than what the more senior, more experienced guys were making? And I realized it was because I took a step back and detached from it. So at that moment, I said to myself, okay, from now on, when I get into these tactical scenarios, I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna try and look around and I'm gonna try and detach myself from the chaos and the mayhem. And I started doing it all the time. In every tactical situation, in the land warfare, in the mountains, in the urban environments, I was doing it all the time. And I was able to see what was happening. It was like a superpower to be able to see what was happening and make decisions. And so then I actually started doing it when I was having conversations. And if you and I were in a disagreement and you started getting emotional, instead of me getting emotional back at you, I would just take a step back and be like, oh, okay, he's really concerned about this. Why is he so concerned? What does he see that I don't see? And I started actually just detaching all the time. And that became a very powerful tool in leadership that I use to this day.
Super cool message. I love it. I agree with it. I think it's one of the biggest challenges of being an entrepreneur is that you're so busy in the day-to-day that we can lose track of where we're going, why we're doing the thing that we're doing. I remember when I had my office, when I was first starting as an entrepreneur, I had a 10-minute walk from my place to my office. And I would always ask myself along the way, what's the highest use of my time today? What's the highest use of my time today? Because we wake up and there's an explosion of emails and social media and just things that we have to get done, other people's agenda for our time. People will have demands from you, right? You have to answer your customers' messages, you have to talk to your employees. There's never a lack of things to do as an entrepreneur. But we get often caught up and then look back at the day and knowing that you did a lot of work, but then weren't being productive, right? I used to get frustrated that I would look back on my day and feel like I worked my face off. I worked really hard. But then I would say, well, I didn't move anything forward enough. If that resonates with you, you feel like that's happening to you, you're just not working on the right things. You're not doing enough of the most important tasks. And so I would start by just asking myself, what's the highest use of my time today? Where should I be spending my time today that's gonna help me accomplish my ambitions? I've taken a more structured approach now with my life and my company, in that I look at my weeks and I plan my weeks ahead. And every day I do different things. If you feel stressed out or out of balance, it's because there's no point in your week for you to work on those things. So I have my YouTube day where I'm looking at my videos and I'm filming this content for you guys today, because I'm not going to touch YouTube for another week. And so if I don't make videos today, it's not going to happen. This is why I'm making videos with a headache, because I have other stuff happening on my other days. And that structure gave me the freedom to then go off and start to accomplish the big things that I want to accomplish. And so I would say, look at your calendar, look at your life from above and say, here's what I want to accomplish, right? And then your actions have to map to your ambitions. So you pull out your calendar and say, okay, here's what I want to accomplish. Here's my goals. Here's my objectives. Here's what I'd like to be. And then plan out your calendar and say, well, what am I going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And personal life as well as business life. So that when you can look at your calendar and say, hey, if I got those things done, I would be moving closer towards achieving my objective, moving closer to hitting my goals. I think that's the bigger issue. I just think too many people are spending so much time running around like a chicken with their head cut off, burning out, not moving closer to their goals, because they never took the time to actually think about where they want their life and their week to go. Now, with that being said, I'm a big believer in what I call the 5-95 rule, which is 5% of your time planning and 95% of your time doing. What a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in is just planning. Planning alone doesn't count. You have to do. So if Jocko Willink's talking about taking 30 seconds back to just analyze the situation and make a call, great, it's 30 seconds of planning, and then you're doing. You're acting, you're executing. So thinking alone is not enough. So when I sit down and do my YouTube day, I'm not thinking about what I have to do today. I know what I have to do today, because I spent that 5% of time planning and making it really effective to think this is what I want for my life, and then 95% of my time actually going off and just executing what my plan was. Because a lot of times entrepreneurs will just plan and then come up with a different plan and then come up with a different plan, and it's fun to plan. It's a great exercise. It's mentally stimulating. It's great to picture a future world that we could potentially create for ourselves. But then you just get locked in kind of daydreaming mode instead of actually going off and executing. So I would look at those two things. I would start by thinking about, what is the life that you want? How can you then create your habits, because success is habits. So how can you create your habits and your routine to the extent that you can control? Plan your week out and block off time to focus on the projects that you want for your business and for your life. And then when you sit down, if you decided today what your next week looks like, and then you sit down on Friday to get to work, and you know you have to get these 3 things done on Friday, then you wake up Friday and you quickly just look at your list, and that's what I have to get done today, and then you just go off and do it. And stop getting distracted, and stop judging yourself, and stop coming up with more plans for what you can do. Create, make, act. 5% planning, 95% doing. Let's go. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I'm curious, what is one thing that you need to change in your calendar for you to feel like you're gonna be more productive and move closer to your goals, so that you stop just feeling like you did a lot of work but got nothing done? What is that one change you need to make to your calendar? Let me know, put it in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video and you're still watching and you commit to doing something after watching this video, right? Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, we take action. That's the point of the Entspresso series. Give me a hashtag believe down below, because I want to celebrate you.
Leadership is much less a title and much more an approach to going through life. And so when you walk out in the world every day, I just want you to keep that in mind as much as possible. You can behave like a leader, which is assuming personal responsibility for your results, or you can be like a victim, which is something bad happens or something doesn't quite work out and you give away your power and you blame and you complain and you become toxic. And right now the world has far too many victims, people who are, rather than looking in the mirror saying, I have the power to change and I might not like where I'm at in my work right now or in my life or in my health or in my love or in my spirituality, but I have the power to change. Well, victims say, I might not be where I'm at in the world, but it's because of the world. It's because of my childhood. It's because of my husband, my wife, my boss, my team, my country, my economy. And so my loving encouragement to you is ask yourself right now, am I behaving like a victim? Maybe it's in your health life. Maybe it's with your finances, and a victim would be saying, I can't do this. That's what victims do. I can't do this. Or victims, they point fingers. Well, it's the economy where I live right now. Or it's the industry. It's going through a lot of commoditization and a lot of disruption. And if I was in a different industry, I'd be successful. Ultimately, we all know this. We create a reality. And even in the most difficult and most competitive of industries, there are people who are playing at world class, who are doing really well. Why? Because they have a different approach, because they are doing different things. And fundamentally, they're not behaving like victims, blaming and complaining and being toxic and wasting time and living in the past. They're showing up like leaders.
If you want to know what Jocko Willink says is the biggest sin that you are making, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.